today we are back and rolling again with the familiar episode of a 1 hour challenge. Now, today there's going to be something a little special because we're hunkering down on a big one. Today I am going to be challenging Chopin Scherzo No.2. Yes, you heard it right, the huge one. Well, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go, but anyhow, it's still going to be, the same flavor, the same taste as we've always been doing. No additives, no preservatives, no artificial colorings. So it's still going to be the same thing. As you guys know, I will be practicing a piece that I have not played before, and I will be practicing it in 3 sessions of 1 minute, 10 minutes, and then 1 hour. And then I will be playing the piece through after each session. Well, there's not much else to say, so without further ado, let's get started! As per usual, not much done, just maybe like a survey of the first 2 pages. Now, of course, this one doesn't look too bad. I don't want to jinx myself, but this is like, I'm sure this is the last time I'm going to say this, but this seems to be okay. It's huge. I think it's something like at least probably 700 bars or something. But if everything continues at the same pace, and hopefully the scales and arpeggios don't come to mess me back up later, this should all be within control. All right, so the product or whatever of the 1 minute session then. Well, I'm not quite sure exactly what to say. It's not that bad on one hand, but on the other hand, I am also kind of alerted. Not gonna lie, I'm actually kind of a little bit nervous now, again, because there's some, like, the beginning actually isn't all that bad. You have to be kind of tricky and you have to watch out for, like, the rests and stuff and the timing. But that's kind of like a small thing, right? And then you move on and then you find there are some scales, which are not that bad. And then you move on and you find that there are some arpeggios, which is kind of alarming, but again, not that bad because I do have like more time coming up after, right? And I think it's somewhere like when you start to get into maybe like the 400s or the 500s, there's there starts to get a little crazy. So I am slightly nervous for all the scales and arpeggiations there. It's like, look, musically wise, there's not that much stuff going on, quote unquote. Like, it's not some sort of really complex passage in that kind of sense, but, you know, for anybody who's been on this channel before and who has watched me struggle with some other pieces on some other challenges, I'm pretty sure everybody knows that scales and arpeggios are not my thing. And this has been like a struggle that has bothered me for like a really long time, and this kind of detracts also from the music. Like, I can kind of, you know, make my way through if I muddle it up and stuff, but honestly, like, the quality just isn't great. So to be honest, like, I'd love to be able to focus a little more on the opening section to enhance some of like the dramatical features and stuff. But I do have the sneaking feeling that I'll probably need to handle some of the technical stuff that pops up later first, just in case. You know, I don't want to be late and figure out sometime in the 1 hour session that suddenly, oh my god, there's this huge thing in the end and I have no idea how to solve it, and suddenly it's blowing up all over the place, and yeah, like Taco Bell aftermath kind of levels of disaster. I don't want that happening. So probably in the 10-minute session, I might actually end up checking out some of the later stuff first, like the 400s kind of a stuff first, or maybe even just figuring out like what the heck's going on with the arpeggios. And then maybe in the 1 hour session we can talk more about musical details, timing in the first theme, I guess you can call it. Especially like figuring out what kind of characters I want for that, and kind of actually doing it, I guess. Like, it's not bad now, but it's not great either, and at some point I'll have to solve that, and especially with the coda. Like, that thing coda, I'll probably save it for the 1 hour session based on what I've seen so far, because it is not doable within 10 minutes. Might as well save it for, you know, later. But that has to get solved eventually, because if I do not solve this, this will completely blow up in my face later. You guys are lucky. I might not put out that end section, but like of whatever I just played, but that was pretty disastrous. Not great. So actually the technical things are a little bit more prominent than I thought they would. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of foresee this coming up, but this is a little worse than I thought it would be, so I think I'll have to figure out what to do with the technical stuff first. Sad. Okay. Alright then, stop talking and let's get into the 10-minute session. Okay, to be honest, I did my best with the arpeggiated section. Not as bad as I thought it would be, but I have no idea just how much of that will stick. Hopefully, all of it. If not, probably at least some of it, which is good news, because this stuff comes back like 2 or 3 times or whatever. So yeah, it's always great to have something hopefully that sticks, and so hopefully I won't have to practice it over and over again in the 1-hour session, because there are more things out there to be done. Actually, it's not looking, the beginning at least isn't looking that shabby now. I don't know, the timing in particular and the character for the very opening is always kind of difficult. You want to open on a good note. You want it to sound nice. You don't want it to sound wonky. And I am doing my best to try and shape up the triplets and stuff. But the rhythm is always a little harder than expected. Like, you know what you want, and then sometimes it just doesn't happen. And sometimes it's a sound effect, sometimes it's blurry, sometimes, the hands are sticky, whatever, it's not going up, or it's going up too fast. But that's more of that I'm gonna try and solve that more in the 1-hour session after I get rid of probably more or less the technical things. I live by this rule. If something can go wrong, it will go wrong. So basically I can assume that unless I've got like 100% the arpeggiations and scales and whatever down, it's gonna come back to haunt me. So I really do have to do that first. Anyhow, I'll be starting the product of the 10-minute session. I somehow managed to fix the arpeggiation problem. Yay me! Anyhow, that's good news. And somehow the ending kind of started to clear up by itself. Now, I am not going to try and give myself false hope, but it does look better than last time, somehow, miraculously, even though I didn't practice it. Which is great, and also kind of surprising. I don't know how, whatever. Since it wants to get better, so be it. I'm not gonna stop it. Anyhow, same problems, I would say, as I identified last time. Maybe like a smidge better now, but like still, it's not gonna go away if I don't practice it. So yeah, I mean, nothing special though. I didn't encounter anything like out of expectations. Might have to plan it a little better too. I mean, it could be caused because like the technical stuff is too bad at the moment, so it kind of feels scattered. But that's also a problem that I'll have to try and solve eventually. I don't know, maybe it'll clear up by itself after I finish up the technical stuff. I'm betting not though, so at least I'll have to find some chunk of time to try and piece things together a little. But other than that, yeah, not much else to say. No, nothing has gotten like significantly better, but nothing has gotten worse either. Nothing has popped up. But everything's more or less on the right track. Yeah, I guess I'll get started then. Okay, honestly, at this point, I think I've more or less kind of patted down the technical problems. So I feel like I should probably leave it at that. Like, I might come up maybe just a couple of times a little later just to verify that everything's all right. But honestly, I feel like I should probably leave the technical bits like that. Because otherwise I probably won't have time to get to anything else. And honestly, it's kind of pick your battles kind of a situation right now. Because although yes, I could continue to work on the technical stuff, and yes, it is important that it has the clarity and whatever. And you know, honestly, if I were practicing this like normally, I would not be doing that. Like, because that is probably like, you know, not the best way to practice it, and also not the best effect ever. It needs a lot more, just a lot more clarity in general, and especially at the end, you know, you want everything to actually sound properly. But at this point, you know, with the time constraints and whatever, it's probably best to move on to something else and smooth out the effect in general, I would say. Like if I were actually practicing that part, I would definitely not leave it like that. But just for now, you know, probably best to move on to something else first. here's the moment of truth as to seeing just whatever sticks, I guess. Okay, to be honest, I'm actually relatively happy with the way it is right now. Like, if it can hold up to like 90% of what I practiced, it's pretty decent. Now, like, it's not the best ever. There's a lot of, especially just like clarity issues that needs to be fixed. But honestly, like, given the time, right, I don't think, like, if I were to do it all over again, I don't think I'd make any different choices. So, yeah, I mean, nothing to say about that, I guess. Just to show the results then.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, please remember to give a like and maybe subscribe so you can hear more of my stuff. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!